Hey there, feeling that pre-Mercury retrograde anxiety creeping in? You know, that, oh no, everything is about to go haywire feeling. Well, grab your coffee and let's chat because I'm breaking down the upcoming retrograde into bite-sized, manageable pieces that won't leave you feeling overwhelmed. No doom or gloom here, just practical tips from a friend who gets it. And guess what? This is just part one of a three-part series designed to completely demystify this retrograde season just for you. So Mercury's about to do its backward dance again, and instead of dreading it, I want to help you navigate it with confidence. This retrograde starts March 14th in fiery Aries, and then slides back into the dreamy, watery Pisces on March 29th, before finally going back direct on April 7th. Let me quickly share what we're covering in this series. Today in part one, we're tackling the essential overview of this retrograde's energy and practical survival tips. In part two, I'll break down exactly how this affects your specific house placement with personalized guidance and how to find that house in the transits. In part three, we'll explore the fascinating double impact of having both Mercury and Venus retrograde at the same time, starting in the same sign. Trust me, by the end of this series, you'll be the friend explaining retrogrades to everyone else. But first, let's talk about what a Mercury retrograde actually feels like. It's not just some astronomical event. It's a time when communications get fuzzy, technology seems to have a personal vendetta against you, and somehow your perfectly clear instructions turn into a game of telephone gone wrong. Sound familiar? In this video, I'm covering the essential needs to knows. What Mercury rules, how Aries and Pisces energies affect this retrograde specifically, and most importantly, practical ways to not just survive, but actually use this time productively. And stick around because I'll be dropping some human design wisdom that can be your secret weapon during this retrograde season. Mercury governs all things communication, your texts, emails, conversations, and even your internal dialogue. It also rules technology, travel plans, contracts, and basically how we process information. During retrograde, these areas can get interesting. Your perfectly normal text might be completely misinterpreted. That important email might vanish into the digital void, and don't get me started on travel delays or tech glitches that appear out of nowhere. The Aries and Pisces influence is having some interesting, extra spicy energies because it's starting in Aries, the cosmic toddler who wants it and wants it now. Mercury in Aries is usually direct, fast-paced, and sometimes a bit blunt. But retrograde Aries, that Aries energy gets frustrated when things slow down with a Mercury retrograde. Think impatient. Communication, rushing to conclusions, and that feeling, why isn't anything working the way I want it to right now? Then, on March 29th, Mercury goes backwards into Pisces, which basically is comic whiplash. Suddenly, we go from fiery impatience to dreamy confusion. Communication becomes more intuitive, but less clear. You might find yourself saying, I just have a feeling, instead of explaining your actual thoughts. By the way, if you're finding these practical retrograde tips helpful, hitting that subscribe button would mean the world to me. It helps more people find this no-nonsense approach to astrology and human design, and I promise to keep bringing you these coffee chat style breakdowns of cosmic events without the overwhelm. Plus, that like button is basically Mercury retrograde proof technology, so go ahead and test it out. And you definitely want to be subscribed for parts 2 and 3 of this series coming next couple of days. So let's go into the empowering perspective. Here's the thing about Mercury retrograde that changed everything for me. It's not a cosmic punishment. It's more like the universe giving us a chance to pause and review. Think of it as comic editing time. We're constantly moving forward, creating, communicating, but when do we ever go back and check our work? That's Mercury retrograde energy at its best. This is perfect timing to revisit old projects that got put on the back burner, reconnect with people from your past, if those people are people you should be reconnecting with, review your communication patterns, reassess your relationship with technology. Let's get into the actual, what do I do about this part? Tech backups. Before March 14th, back up your important files, photos, and contacts. Just do it, trust me, it's a better call. Communication clarity. During the Aries phase, March 14th to 29th, take an extra breath before sending important messages. That impulsive Aries energy might make you hit send a little too quickly. Double check everything, confirm appointments, read contracts twice, and maybe screenshot those important conversations just in case you need them later. Travel buffer. If you're traveling, build in extra time. Aries retrograde especially can be impatient around delays. So make sure you have a little bit of extra room for things to go wrong. Contracts and commitments. If possible, wait until after April 7th to sign anything major. If it can't wait, read the fine print extra carefully. Read it twice, check it twice. And now into human design authority. This is your superpower during retrograde. Instead of getting caught in Mercury's confusion, use your authority as your anchor. Quick muscle testing can help you stay aligned when things get a little chaotic. For example, before sending that important email, take a moment to muscle test. Is this communication aligned with my highest good right now? Your body knows even when Mercury is playing its tricks. Remember, this retrograde isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. It's giving you the chance to slow down, review, and realign before moving forward again. In part 2 of this series, I'll break down exactly how this retrograde affects you based on which house it's traveling through in your chart. That's where things get really personal and practical. And don't miss part 3, where we'll explore how Mercury and Venus retrogrades are creating a unique cosmic cocktail that you'll want to understand better. And until then, remember to back up your tech, double check your communications, and most importantly, use your human design authority as your compass when things get foggy. Muscle test any questions that come up for you, and drop a comment below with your biggest Mercury retrograde concern, and I'll try to address it in the next videos. And if you found this helpful, sharing it with a friend who's feeling the retrograde anxiety might just make their day. See you in part 2, where we'll get even more specific about how this retrograde is affecting your chart.